Escaping the Odds podcast is a movement of freedom in the physical and financial sense. We highlight people who bounce back from prison by switching hustles and a mindset. See, business has always been a part of my DNA. I just went about it the wrong way, which sent me to federal prison for 9 years. I'm bringing y'all dope stories of triumph that's meant to inspire and educate to take you to the next level. And no matter where we come from or come from under, we can set ourselves free and escape the odds. What's up, y'all? Thank y'all for tuning in to Escaping the Odds. I'm your host, Aaron Smith. We got some dope stories for y'all today. Formerly incarcerated men and women who are now entrepreneurs. Let's get it. Thank y'all for tuning in to another dope episode of Escaping the Odds. We're doing something differently this week. This has been a crazy, crazy year. And we are 41 episodes in. And the last 2 episodes I wanted to actually do like a reunion episode. So I wanted to bring back some of my guests that you've seen throughout the year, kind of recap what they've been doing. And so I decided to bring on a good brother, Mr. Yohance Lacour and Miss Coco Davis. They're going to get into their story, get into their business, what they're doing. Really awesome things in the city of Chicago. So let's get it going. Yohance, what's up, bro?
Man, what's up, bro? Man, good to be here. I'm still doing leather work. Okay. Still making shoes. So I hand make the shoes, and then do leather work since I picked it up in leathercraft in the joint like we discussed before. Right. Now it's got to a point where I can't really scale like that. Like if I'm making every pair of shoes myself, it's only one me and I can only make so many shoes. Right. So I'm working out on a manufacturing deal arrangement so that I can have my most sought after styles manufactured. So that basically now, if you order a certain style, I got inventory, I can ship them straight to you. Gotcha. So I'll have inventory, but meanwhile, if somebody still wants like a custom one-off that's not already in my line, then I can use my time to do that. Okay. So I can design for mass production and still just create one-offs too. Okay. I've been since last time we talked, I got a workspace. A studio space to kind of do my work out of. I still do a lot of work from the Chicago School of Shoemaking. We still got a good relationship, but I also needed my own space. Yeah. So I can start doing at least the bulk of my work there, and then still I can count on the school, fortunately, because they got a lot of machines and equipment that I don't have yet. So that's a blessing. And COVID slowed business down. I wanted to actually. The manufacturers I'm dealing with are in Portugal. So, Italy is kind of like known as like the creme de la creme of shoemaking, right? Italian shoes. A lot of people may or may not know Spain and Portugal are like kind of right after them. Mm-hmm. And the truth be told, it's gotten to a point where Portugal and Spain, for that matter, are actually probably making shoes on a level of quality that matches Italy's, but it's still not Italy. It's still it ain't got that name. Right. And it's a lot more affordable to get manufacturing out of a Spain or a Portugal than it is in Italy. And then all of those are still, for me, creating a luxury designer brand. It's a better option for me than say a China. Okay. Right. And so initially I had intended, this has been on my mind for some time, I had intended to fly to Portugal so that I could be hands-on with the manufacturers. I could pick my leathers, I could pick my soles, I could be there as a prototype. I could have gotten everything it's been taking me months and months to do in weeks. I had planned to be there for 2 weeks and have all my prototypes ready to go. Instead, I've had to go back and forth on WhatsApp and Zoom calls. They send me a prototype. I got to say, nah, this ain't right. Then I got to send them some.
Due to COVID, though.
Due to COVID, right? Otherwise, I'd be there and I'd say, no, I don't like that leather. I like this. And it's as simple as a 10-second conversation. Mm-hmm. Now I got to get it in hand, say no, send some leather back. Right. Shipping to Portugal is ridiculous, right? And so it's been costly in terms of time and money. But I mean, it is what it is, right? And so it's slowed stuff down. But I'm still pushing. we know how to deal with
adversity
and time.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
hurry up and wait.
Hurry up and wait. So in a nutshell, man, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, for sure. All right, Miss Coco, you had last time we spoke, you had a whole lot going on, a lot of great things going on. So I know you continue to grind out here. Free Michelle West, that's a really big movement that you're pushing out there.
Yes.
So we'll get a chance to talk about that as well.
Yes.
But just give all this little backstory about yourself and some of the things you've been doing for this year, despite the COVID.
But first of all, thank you for having me on the final episode of Escaping the Odds, Aaron.
Thank you.
I see you out here grinding as well. I'm watching you closely. I'm still grinding and advocating for the sister that I left behind. And I really appreciate you using Xquisite Premir to do the final episode in the reunion. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. So right now, due to the COVID, the pandemic, shut down, no business, but now I'm more focused on the Sister Support House, the transition house for women who's coming out of prison, women who have survived domestic violence. So I've been busting my behind trying to get that house up and running. So I'm hoping and praying that I will start taking intakes by Christmas. So that would be an awesome Christmas gift to these women that don't have a place to go to.
Absolutely.
The house holds 12 women. And right now, I've already got 3 applications in to bring some women into the house. And I've been working on part 2 of the Sister of Support House. And as I told you before, I got this other building that I'm in the process of getting because I want to do girls aging out of foster care because a lot of people don't understand once a young lady come out of foster care, where do they go? Where's our black and brown girls at? A lot of them, when they get out of foster care, they run to the street because they don't have no family. They have nowhere to go. So me, as a mother, as a sister, I want to make sure that these girls have a safe place. So that's, in a nutshell, that's everything that I've been doing since this pandemic. I'm still grinding. I still got the movement going. Michelle West, the Free Michelle West movement. She does have an application in. It's still on the Trump administration desk. We just praying by Christmas he can do some more part.
Maybe redeem himself.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not like you haven't heard of it because we got people up and close in the White House that is constantly, feeding, information back to us, saying that it's there, We just got to, explain the case more in depth because a lot of people don't know the case. When they read it, they say, oh, well, she's a murderer. No, that's not the case. She was not the murderer. Her boyfriend gave her $200, told her to give it to the guy who was going to put a hit out on the guy. She never knew what the $200 was for. I'm a woman. I dated a guy that had plenty of money. If my guy had called and told me to give somebody $200, I'd have gave him $200. Thought nothing of it. But she didn't know anything about it. So we gotta dig more into the case so people can understand she was not the trigger man.
The context of it.
She was not. The person who did it, he's out. He's still living his life.
What?
The victim daughter, they wrote a letter and she done said it, that Michelle had nothing to do with it. But you guys let this man just run the street free. So that's the fight that we fight, and when we fight, we win. I would not give up. I would not give up fighting for her until we bring her up out of there.
And that was your bunkie?
That was my bunkie for 8.5 years. I did 13.5 years in a federal prison, and I never forgot about her. I never forgot about that sister. So that is it's my honor to use my voice to help bring her home. As so many other women that on the Free Michelle West movement.
Gotcha. Mr. Lacour, YJL. So talk about what you actually learned to get this this set of skills that you have. I wish you were able to actually bring your material, man, because it's really dope stuff. You do purses, you do handmade shoes, leather craft shoes, of course. And so talk about that whole process when you initially started while you were incarcerated.
Right. So I shortly after I got locked up, I wound up at a camp. Between it being my first offense, my criminal points being low, me being I was 34 at the time. I was able to get to a camp relatively soon. So I ended up in
for the audience. What's the camp?
a federal camp, right? Okay. So you got tiers of security. You got maximum securities where Larry and Jeff, where Larry Hoover and Jeff Ford and Unabomber and shit like that at. Right. You got medium security prisons. You got low security prisons, and then you got camps where you don't even have walls basically, and they, which really them dudes could go home, because if you can tell me just not to cross this line for 10 years, I can't be that much of a threat. Yeah. Right. Because people want to get home. People, because at that point, when I was facing that time, running was a serious option, a serious consideration. And then, they tell you you're facing way more than you really are to jump anyway. So it's like, oh man, I'm out of here. But then it's like, all right, I run, I can't see my daughter again. Yeah. I stay, I see her through these visits, I get out eventually, I see her again. And if you got some, to me, a rational mind is gonna go ahead and bite the bullet, right? We knew what came with the job when we took them. So I ended up, after a while of moving around, I finally ended up at a camp, and in Duluth, Duluth is up there, speaking of Trump, I saw a rally of his in Duluth, Minnesota recently, and I knew then, it was no surprise to me that he had a real base there. Yeah. That's his type of crowd. Right. Northern Minnesota, up in the cold, Dakota-style white boys and women, you know what I'm saying? So they all about Trump, and that prison reflected it. You know what I mean? It was really like, that was the only prison, jail environment I've been in that was as heavily run by white dudes as it was. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it was more of us there, and it was, but in terms, they had a relationship with staff. It was like, it was just, they had more run of the land influence there. Yeah, and so they also had like better programming, right? And so they had a leathercraft. A lot of joints have hobbycraft programs, obviously, but theirs included leathercraft. Okay. And so, I'm a creative anyway, and been one since I was a youngster. And so, I write and that type of thing. I used to draw. So I was spending my time doing a lot of writing anyway, but I was still looking for another outlet, and I didn't even know it. And then when I discovered hobbycraft and I saw him in there working with leather, I'm like, man, I got to do something. You know what I mean? I want to do that. You know what I mean? I grew up, I'm from Hyde Park. We think we fly as hell anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yeah, let me get in here. I'm gonna work with this leather. I'm gonna make something slick. So initially it was just kind of escaping the monotony and the madness of everything, right? But after a while, I developed, I developed a passion for it. I fell in love with it. And interestingly enough, there was only like one other brother in the program when I got there. One of the guys from the Hunters, I got in there with him. He kind of, brought me in, let me know, I'll show you how to get involved. Right. Everybody else there was white dudes, and most of them were like biker gang dudes who making like Harley Davidson leather bags and stuff to send home to their peoples, right?
You came with a little flavor.
Yeah, they didn't have none. Yeah. Now what they had though was craftsmanship. Like they knew what they was doing. Yeah. If they had imagination, they'd be making dope shit. But it was bland. You know what I'm saying? It was real vanilla. So I came in there and added something after I learned it. Right. And so y'all probably know how it goes, but when guys want to send something home to their loved ones for Valentine's Day, birthdays, Mother's Day, Christmases or whatever, they gonna come, to Hobbycraft to have somebody make them something. Right. And so, it wasn't long before I was the dude in leathercraft that everybody came to, right? Now in the joint, that's only so impressive. It ain't like we got malls to go to, you know what I mean? So the fact that everybody in the joint is coming to me on this compound, it feels good, but it didn't let me know that I could come out here and hold my own in the world where, you know, but I started making, so y'all all also know, and for the audience who doesn't, mail is a huge thing in the joint. Obviously, that's how we communicating with our loved ones. And so when I got to the joint, I discovered dudes, artists making greeting cards. Right, I saw dudes making greeting cards, these extravagant pop-up cards where you pull the tab and the angel pop up and the feathered wings come out and the whole nine. You know what I mean? And they got nothing but time, and they done made a Picasso style level card. Right, and so I started making leather cards, and they were a hit. And it wasn't long before the brothers I was making cars for to send home to their loved ones was telling me, my people on the out want some for their people. That's why I'm like, I got something. People on the outside want it to sell to their people. When they got the whole world to buy from and for, then I got something. So I kept making bags. And we would, dudes would come and they'd be like, look, I want this Prada bag. They bring a Vogue magazine and they say, I want this Prada bag for my daughter. Yeah. We know obviously we ain't got Prada hardware or monogram leather, but we make that bag. Yeah. And I say we made that bag better than Prada did, for real. You know what I mean? Because machines, make more mistakes than people do. And we on it. And I see a mistake, I'm gonna go back and do it again. Right. To the point when I got out, I started studying bags. I'm like, damn, y'all letting this ride? Y'all letting this slide? I'm seeing stuff like, oh, okay.
So doesn't that play a part like in the branding? Like what's the difference between YGL and Prada or Jimmy Choo?
Right.
Or those different brands like that.
Right.
Like what makes you different? Of course, I know it's a name, but like far as the actual material, like what's the difference in that?
No, that's a dope question. Now, when it comes to material, they probably still have access to finer materials than I do. Okay. Right. Because they still probably get the first picks of the finest Italian leathers and whatnot. Right. But there are enough quality leathers from Italy and other places that I can get my hands on some beautiful leather, right? So I can compete there. Yeah. The advantage to buying from me is that your item, your bag, your piece will have gone through one set of hands, right? Or maybe two or three, when I contract work in a team, right? As opposed to, Louis Vuitton now has, they got people in Texas making, they got people in Texas making stuff. Some of their stuff now you can say made in Italy if just a percentage of it is made there. Right. So they can make 30 to 40% of it in Italy, ship the rest of it to China, have them do the rest of the work, and now that's your quality luxury Italian bag. Right. And in essence, half this bag really came from China. Right? I'm doing all this right here. I'm hand stitching this. I'm hand sewing this. I'm punching them holes. I'm making sure it's lined up. These ain't machines and a whole bunch of Chinese workers who not getting, paid what they should, and child workers just trying to get a job done in a crowded room. Right. So there's a whole lot more care. So this is, and then more than that, because I'm not making hundreds and millions of them at a time, I don't have to create a style that I think everybody will like. I can create something for you. Gotcha. You know what I mean?
Personalization.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna get back to you on something, right, about the events that you were doing.
For sure.
As well. Let's talk about not only just the Free Michelle West, but the Xquisite Premir and things you got going on with that, and even also the house as well. I want to know more about this event space here that you invited us in today.
Oh, okay. Well, just let me just piggyback off him.
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't open up a can of worms. You just made me think about all the stuff I did when serving that 13-and-a-half-year bid. Yeah. I did the leather, I did the crochet, I did the cooking, I did the baking. I was trying to find my niche.
Right, yeah.
And none of that excited me. I did the car that popped up, boom, and sending them over there to my husband, the other prison, and everything. But none of that moved me. What I started doing? I started writing and became a best-selling author while in prison. My first book was Honor Thy Bitch. The first book I wrote. I came home in 2014, and I went on a book signing. They were flying me from here, there, and everywhere. And that is what got me to start utilizing my time in the prison, because I was the head person that did all the fashion shows, any type of talent shows we had. It was me in the gym. I was the head, person in recreation. And
so this ain't new for you, having an event space.
No, because I really never imagined having an event space. Right. Honestly, never. What I wanted to do is find a space, but I wanted to have the space for my organization, which is the Talk to Me Foundation for kids whose parents are incarcerated. Because I wanted the kids to have a safe place to come to keep in contact with the loved ones behind the prison wall. Right. However, when I got the space, things just took off. You know, people started calling me for baby showers, repass, gender reveal, sweet 16. I done did prom sent off. I done sent people off on prom. I done had women to call in, and I had them on both TVs that was locked up.
Oh, wow.
See their daughter going from prom.
Wow. Yeah, that's
You
dope.
talk about tears of
That's
joy.
dope.
I'm trying to make sure that the kid, you know, don't mess your eyelashes up. You know, I know your mom getting the chance to see you for the first time because she wasn't here. And I said, I understand her pain, but I also understand yours too when your mother and your father's not here, because I left 2 girls out here. And I didn't see neither one of them go off, graduate from 8th grade, nor prom.
Yeah.
So it was my honor as well as my duty to make sure that I can send 2 kids off a year on prom at my expense. Use my place, use my car, use my truck, call in, your mama gonna call in, we're gonna have her on TV, and she gonna see you. So that there alone just moved me to continue to do the work that I'm doing. And that is the reason why I came up with the house. That's the reason why I came up with the girls aging out of foster care, because my devotion and my time, it goes to them. Only to them. But I do so much up here. I have inspiring artists, authors come up here. They do the pop-up up here. They do everything up here. I mean, you name it, we do it. I mean, we don't discriminate. Whatever you want to bring in here to do, you come on in and set it up, bring your decorator. It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you. So it's nothing limited to what we can do up here. If the space big enough for you, you're more than welcome to book with me.
Now, that writing, was that therapeutic for you?
Very, very. And that, and when I started doing the leather, we was making the leather cases for the MP3 player. That's what I was doing. We was gluing the suckers together.
It was a whole lot.
So when I got tired of sticking my finger, I said, I ain't doing it, so I gave it to my bunkie. You do it. You know, we sell them for $5. We would send them home for their phones.
Yeah.
You know, I had sent some leather stuff home for my sister computer, you know, to cover it up.
Right.
We was doing all that, but it wasn't my passion.
Right.
That was just something to get by.
But you know what?
But
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
when I started writing, that was it. I
You
got
found
9
it.
books.
Yeah.
9 books to this
Congratulations.
day, all written in prison.
Wow.
On reality show.
You know what?
I got the stage play.
That speaks to the ingenuity and that creativity. Like I always say, when I went to prison, I got back my creativity. Because I had the time to sit down and really think and get back to the essence.
Absolutely.
You know, and it sounds like the same thing happened with you.
Absolutely, because there's nowhere in the world I'm not from.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have did none of that.
Right.
I ain't have time. And like I told you before, if I hadn't got the time that I had, they had gave me probably 10 years, maybe 5 years, I'd have been back to the streets. This is what I know.
Right.
You know? But when they gave me 22 years, I'm like, oh no, that's I can't do that.
Gotta do it.
I can't do it.
But you know, to that point, because sometimes those who ain't been through it or hear those sentiments and feel like, oh, okay, so prison was good for you. Prison is right. The difference is, you know, coming 9 times out of 10, coming from where we come from, inner city black boys and girls don't get that time early. White boys and girls and boys and girls who come from more well-to-do situations, they get that time early to discover their creative passions, and they get enough wiggle room and comfort to stumble and make it. Right, so
And exposure.
And exposure, which is key. Yeah. So when you don't have that, you know what I mean, then and you forced to figure out how am I gonna put some eggs on the table, then you use your creativity to figure out how I'm gonna whip up, right? As opposed, so it sounds like, oh yeah, send them to jail because they can look at them, you know, they can go develop, they can find themselves. When in fact, you know what I'm saying, the push needs to be to allow for that exposure
Early on.
Right. So they ain't got to end up and have to be sat down for 10 years or 13 years to find it.
And you know, and I think it's a good thing because when Aaron brings us on the stage, on the floor, and we tell our story, you got the people that's looking and watching, they hearing this here. And they feel that it's okay. And it's not okay. And it's not okay to go out here and commit a crime. Because a lot of people, and I talk to a lot of young kids right now to this day, don't think that you're getting away, you're just getting by. You know, don't think you're just getting away, you're just getting by. So I applaud you for bringing me here, and we telling our story because it's a must need. It need to be told because a lot of people would look at me and think like, she ain't never been to jail, and you know we all say, well, what do they look like?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I am, you know, and I got sisters that's in there still doing time and have done 10, 20, 30 years, you know?
Yeah.
And you've been right on the trail. You've been watching, like Miss Allison Johnson. Look how long she did with us, you know what I'm saying? And she home and she doing great things. I mean, she is really doing great things, and she's speaking, and she's giving back, and she's helping these sisters. She's speaking on their behalf in the White House, you know. So we got a lot more work to do.
Absolutely,
a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
And once again, you know, I get it. You know, it should have been something that we could have done early on, but we don't have that support. We don't have that,
Right.
like the white kids do. You know?
We got to give it to each other now, though, because you know I'm listening to your story. I know a woman I'd love to put you in tune with. Her name is Lisa, and she developed an app called Slip Out, and it's for women who are victims of domestic violence.
Oh, wow.
And it's an app where I believe like how it works is it contacts the police and lets them know what's going on
I
from
like that.
you know what I mean? And I was listening to how the home you got services victims of domestic violence too,
Yes.
right? So I definitely want to put her in tune with you.
Okay.
And I commend you on all that.
I want to talk more about the events that you have at your location, or the events you were having pre-COVID.
Right.
Clutches,
Clutches,
cocktails.
and conversations. Clutches,
I like that,
cocktails,
yeah.
and conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I came home, like, you know, so much stuff was new, but sipping paint was like just a phenomenon.
Yeah,
like
exactly, yeah.
every woman I knew,
Yeah.
Have
sister,
a lot of
otherwise everybody been to 18 sipping paints. They got all these ugly ass paintings that they done did somewhere, and they, you know, but they love it because they had such a good time. I know.
It's about the gathering. It's
Yeah.
about the
Yeah,
gathering.
no, it's dope.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, that's it. You know, that's what that's for. Because I have a lot of them up here.
Yeah.
Now I just started having new paint. I mean, hey.
Hey, people like what they
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
You know, it's entertainment.
Different
No,
strokes for different folks.
But
right?
like you say, and then not all of them was ugly. I'm talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But like you say, it was a gathering. It's
Yes,
people
about gathering.
looking for something to do, for fellowship, enjoy themselves, right? And so and once I figured that, I'm like, a couple of my friends was like, you should think about doing something like. So I was already teaching leather classes at the Chicago School of Shoemaking.
Right.
And most of the crowd that would come, 95% of the crowd, really all of the crowd that would come through there, because it's a straight hobbyist thing. You know, it's way up on the north side, and there would just be a lot of people who just come through there because they are already genuinely interested in crafting or leather work. And so, but I had people when they learned I was doing it, a lot of my friends and lady friends and sisters friends, whatever, they want to do it, but they just want to do it to kick it. Like, oh, that's cool. It sounds like something new to do. Right. So I had a whole crowd of people that really weren't looking at the hobbyist aspect of it. They don't care that much about a rotary cutter. They want to do something new. And so add some drinks to the mix and some socializing and some let your hair down. You know, and I think once again, in terms of the difference between our people and the rest of America, we're under more stress. We need, for real, it's a reason it's a liquor store everywhere. They're definitely perpetuating and pushing poison as hard as they can on us, but there's a reason we go to them so much, because we want to escape. You know what I mean? We at the salt mines for real, day in, day out. It's stressful. And so, and on black women especially. So, you know, black women looking to let their hair down and chill with each other and celebrate each other. And so that's where it was inspired from. So Clutches, Cocktails, and Conversations, a group of women can come out, offer a complimentary bottle of champagne, and then they can bring all the drinks and food they want, take a few hours. I teach them how to make a clutch purse.
Right. So they walk away with a clutch purse.
Yeah, they walk away with a clutch purse that they've made. And I've actually been inspired by like every sister might not be a Van Gogh or a Picasso on that paint, but sisters know purses, sisters know clutches. They rock with them anyway. I've been inspired by some of the talent I've seen that these women didn't really even know they had. Yeah. So yes, COVID obviously slowed that down. I was on the phone with a friend of mine and his wife this morning who wants me to put together a virtual form of the class. So I'm working on that now. Okay.
So tell me how pre-COVID, what were some of the challenges you faced related to business?
So one big challenge I face, man, and saying it now after having dealt with it for some years is almost embarrassing, but it was handling legal business, right, at that level. So I had done legal business before. I had been entrepreneurial prior to prison, and not just in terms of illegal activity.
Yeah.
But I hadn't been in so many situations with so many contracts, and if you don't stipulate this, then you don't get that, and if you don't mention that, we come from in the streets.
Your hand, your words, everything.
Yeah, handshake and a head nod and the okay was it, and you knew what was right and wrong.
Right.
You knew that you get what you pay for, and you get it like this, and you don't give nobody something that you wouldn't take. That was just understood. Whereas now it's like, well, the fine print says that if this happens and you can't trip, what you mean I can't trip?
Yeah.
Like this ain't right. You know what I mean? It reminded me like I was watching the Dave Chappelle piece. Recently, he made a plea basically to the public saying, "Hey man, don't watch my shit on HBO. Don't watch, because they not paying me. And yeah, I signed a contract, but it ain't right. Just because I signed a contract, I'm a 20-year-old kid who didn't know no better, and now you can just steal my work and profit off my work, and I don't get nothing.
Yeah.
And since I signed a contract, it's okay. And so that had me hot, man. That had me feeling a kind of way. Like so it made me feel like legal business can be more cutthroat than the streets. It's just that the consequences aren't as dire, right? And so that was to have to realize that, okay, I have to sit here and plan and plot and think contractually about all situations and outcomes, because the person I'm doing business with is not guaranteed to think of that for me and to consider me that way, right? Because they are focused on their bottom line solely, right? That was a challenge. And then of course, coming home and learn, styles change, right? Trends change. And so getting in tune and finding the pulse, getting my finger on the pulse that I had been gone from for so long, it took some time. Another thing about, obviously in the streets selling drugs, they sell themselves, right? So if if you have it and you got decent business skills, you should be able to do okay. It's a little differently when you got so many shoemakers, there's so many leather workers, there's and it's not about, and there's so many different styles. So I kind of got to figure out, okay, how do I feed that? How do I satisfy that market? And how do I tap into markets that I'm not already aware of? Exactly. But those are beautiful struggles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I pose the same question to you.
The challenge that I face,
yeah, as it relates to business,
to this business is finance.
Yeah.
Keeping the business up and running.
Okay.
On both ends, as well as the sister support house. We gotta have a revenue coming in so the house can sustain.
Yeah.
If I don't have no money coming in, then the business gonna fail.
Yeah.
With this here Chicago funding, it's people hand select who they're gonna get this money to. So we just gotta keep grinding and reaching out to people that can support us with our small black business.
Yeah.
So that's the challenge. But as far as getting the business up and running, as far as the event space, I did a lot of homework, and I got two girls that gonna Google everything.
Yeah. Sound like somebody I know.
Yeah, that's gonna help me make sure that all of my T's is crossed. So they've been a big help to me as far as making sure that the paperwork is done legally. And I got women on my team, with the National Council. We got women that are lawyers.
Okay.
That's lawyer.
Yeah.
So if it's something that I need, a question that needs to be asked, I just email them, text them, call them, whichever one, and ask them, what do you think and how do I go about doing X, Y, Z?
Okay.
As far as the house, when I first started off with the house, I didn't know that before I can turn this house into a co-living space, it had to be zoned. I didn't know that because I go straight in trying to, repair and fix up. But now that it's been zoned and I can have 10 to 12 women in there, I'm good. But a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
They want to just jump right in without doing their homework.
Exactly.
That's just how it is. It's like when someone see you doing something, they think, hey, I can go do the same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's some work come with this.
Absolutely.
I just told you, I just found out that when the building inspector came in here, what I tell you? Oh, he said that can't be there. Where the fire extinguisher? Oh, no, you can't put that there. I can give you a lot of citation. I'm like, wait, hold on. Wait, I'm not even open though.
Right.
So you can't give me nothing.
And one thing you told me about with the parking.
Yeah, with the parking.
Space. Like, I didn't know that.
Yes, you gotta have a parking. You gotta have 2 bathrooms. So it's a lot of stuff that people don't know, and they just jumping right off into it because they see an empty space. I'm gonna get this here, I'm gonna do the same thing. And the business speaks for itself. I don't have to do too much promoting. once I load a picture up on my page, they call it in.
Yeah.
You know, so that's one of the challenges that I have faced since this pandemic is we need some funding to keep it running.
Yeah.
And they do have money out here. We just got to get up and go get it. It's out here. All your paperwork got to be in order. Because with this new grant, I just read it last night. Man, now they asking for the 2019 bank accounts.
Yeah.
I thought we was talking about 2020.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything about I had a problem with 2019.
Yeah.
I'm talking about 2020.
They just want to see that history.
They want to see the history, and I realize that's going to determine how much money they're going to give you. Because I emailed the person. See, if you don't email and ask questions, you'll never know. I'm always asking questions. I think I ask too many questions.
Never too many
questions. But that's that.
You know, on that note, another reason I've discovered they asked for 2019 is because if they can't see a decline or a loss from 2019 to 2020,
maybe
as far as they're concerned, you don't need it because 2020 it didn't hit you hard.
Right.
Interestingly enough, like I'm just really getting started in 2019, right? And so 2019, was not that good for me anyway because I'm just getting started. I was growing. So 2020 has actually, on paper, looked better for me than 2019.
Right.
But that doesn't mean that I'm doing the kind of business I'd be doing if it weren't for COVID. I still haven't taken a loss. Right. So and that's why, like, to your point, capital is such a huge issue for us because we don't have access to it, which is why we got to support each other. Yep. That's why we got to recycle our own money because we getting it, we just not keeping it. You know what I mean?
So as we close out 2020, as I stated earlier, this is a reunion show. What can we expect out of you all for 2021? Starting with you, Yohance.
I'm looking. Well, if 2021 goes anywhere like I hope it does, I'm looking to have larger offerings, a larger selection of stuff. I'm looking to, have inventory and be able to kind of streamline my business more. A lot of people want things from me that sometimes I can't deliver as timely as I'd like to. I'm getting a lot more organized and I'm handling, managing the situation better. And I finally got a hold on my business model. So I will be having a line of stuff that's already manufactured, as well as be able to still be an artist and do one-offs. And I'm also, we've been doing work behind the scenes in terms of advocating for brothers and sisters in the county. Yeah. And as my business grows, I'll have more freedom to continue that type of advocacy and activist work.
And a sneak peek, we got some that we brewing together. That's gonna be dope.
You got to interview yourself. You got to interview the both of us when we do that.
Absolutely. It's going to be epic. For you, 2021, what we looking like?
2021. I'm hoping that I can move forward with these houses because it's my passion. I want to continue advocating for the sisters that I left behind. And I'm planning on letting my daughters and them have this here because the crowd that's up here they too young for me. Yeah. I can't move with them, so.
You'll have all kind of gray hair.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay in my lane, so I prefer to work with the women. Right. And because I feel they pain in me and I know they're gonna feel mine. Yeah. And I'm more hands-on with them. Yeah. But with the crowd that come up here, I'm not hands-on with them. So I'm planning on opening up a couple more of these houses. Okay. And hope that I can take them out of state, go safe and stay. Yeah. Collaborate with other organizations. As you already know, I've been collaborating with D5 Venture. Because I see you talking with Melissa O'Dell, which is good. We'll talk more about her and tell me what your thoughts are. Mm-hmm. But we done already been signed some stuff together. Okay. And I just want to move forward with that. I want to focus on that. I don't want to be all over the place because you lose focus trying to do so many things.
I'm learning that now.
So, you know, you can't do it that way. Yeah. So and like I said, I'm getting older, and I don't want to be moving like this. Yeah. So I prefer to just work with those women that look like me.
Okay, got you. Let's speak on Free Michelle West. Let the audience know what's up with that.
How the Free Michelle movement it continue on, and we're still trying to fight for this sister. She's been gone 29 years to this day. She's serving 2 life sentences plus 50 years. Okay. And do her case look good at the Trump administrator? We don't know. We won't know what that man did. Okay. So we're going to keep on fighting for her, and in hopes that by Christmas her name would be on their party list. So you all just pray for her as well as for me, because this work is hard work, but it's worth doing.
No, absolutely.
Are you selling the Free Michelle West shirts?
Yes, I do. I have all the Free Michelle West shirt. And all you gotta do is DM me. Matter of fact, before you leave, you
Yeah, I
get my number,
wanna
and I'll
get,
give
yeah,
it to you.
no doubt.
And I want everybody that's watching this, you can go on change.org and sign the petition to free Michelle West. Just look for her name, Michelle West, and sign it.
Gotcha.
And that's all we asking for. You want to support her by buying a shirt, you can DM me at Coco Davis on Facebook or Messenger, or you can go on Xquisite Premir Facebook page, and I'm gonna get the message. And I'll mail the t-shirt to you, or you can meet me here, 5939 West Madison, and pick up the shirt.
That's in Chicago.
Right here in Chicago on the west side. Madison and Mason, yes.
All right. Contact information, Yohance. How can we reach you? Get some of those clutches or
The
leather shoes?
website is yjlacour.com. That's yjlacour.com. And I'm finally, so I had a website for that. I had a website for the cars. I had a website for clutches, cocktails, and conversations. Yeah. I'm consolidating all of that. So yjlacour.com is where you can find that. My email is yjlacour@gmail.com. So it's pretty easy to get to me.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Yohance Lacour.
Okay. Can you spell it for me?
YOHANCELACOUR.
Gotcha.
I think I got that. But before I hand, you all can check me out. Go on my webpage, talktomefoundation.org. See all the work that we have been doing since 2016. Okay. Everything is on there.
Cool. And y'all know me, Aaron Smith, escapingtheodds.com. See all the videos, listen to all the audio for the podcast. Also, got the Switch Hustles by Escaping the Odds. New merchandise, got them in green, black, blue, whatever color you want, we'll make it for you though. So you can DM me on that. Facebook, also Escaping the Odds podcast. YouTube channel, Escaping the Odds. I'm pretty much everywhere. LinkedIn for all my corporate people, get at me. So yeah, that's pretty much it though. So thank you all for tuning in with us. Another dope episode where we like to say opportunities over penitentiaries, unlocking freedom here at Escaping the Odds. Appreciate you. Peace.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you.